problem with this sinker pedal. So actually the machine would spin without me touching the pedal. It's not that difficult to open. You have one screw here with a metal cup and then another screw here. The screws are different. However, this one was actually stuck in the small stud in there. The stud will spin with the screw. What I did actually is to grab the head of the screw with pliers and pulls toward me while unscrewing it. This way the stud finally started to unscrew for it. Then you open like this. Just remember when you put it back in place to position correctly this two kind of springs, and inside here we have the problem is this piece. If you notice, there is like a metal piece here, and this piece was secured here, but it's broken into. So this is the breaking point between the two parts. So this was a single part. It's still fixable if you want. The way it goes is you have this plastic bump which it was pushing on this metal piece. So with the other half was pushing on it, and then this metal piece makes contact. This is the low speed, and then as you press more and more, at some point it touches the bottom piece, and that's full speed. So this is the variation from here to here. If you want, this metal piece here, it's pushing on the carbon bits that are inside. This is what gives variable current, but the functioning of it, it's really from no speed. Imagine the other bit missing. No speed, you push the pedal a bit, now it gets low speed, and the speed is increasing until max speed. So what I'm doing here is just get my chair a bit. Okay, so what I did is I did remove this screw from there. I did remove this piece. So basically this piece, it's not connected this side to anything. It's only connected this side. So it doesn't matter if this bit is there or not. So I had to remove this screw. You need to be careful to put those plastic bits back in place aligned. They have a single position, so just put them back correctly in place. Then remove this piece, and just first perhaps check depends where it breaks. If it breaks to the left, more to the left, and you don't have any contact between those two pieces, then there's not much you can do. If it breaks like it had on mine, I noticed that if I push on this thing, it still has contact between this and this. So there is contact all the way. At this point, this may be a problem, but so it should not kind of get like this. So this may be a problem. One thing is that when this is at rest, so when the pedal is closed and you don't touch the pedal, there should be no contact between the two, because that's when the machine spins by itself. So what I'm going to do, this bit here, it's attached to the bottom. I'm just going to kind of lift it and gently bend it a bit upwards. Important not to bend it here, because this is what's pushing the carbon bits inside. You notice that this black tip here, this is the end of the carbon bits which are inside that cylinder. So we really just want to kind of put my finger in here and lift just this end here a little bit. Let's see, it's still too much. Yeah, it starts making sense, but I'm going to give it some more twist. I'm doing this behind the camera, so it's not exactly easy. Oh, it's actually fairly stiff. That's why I'm having troubles with it. Okay, so I'll do this more off video, but you should have it a bit like this. So when we don't touch the pedal, and then just do a test. Close the pedal, put the screw here, tighten it, careful with those screws, don't tighten too much. Those studs are secured against plastic. Again, also this one, it's against plastic, so just snug, that's it. So yes, I'm going to work some more on it off camera. This is one of the things. And also the second one, you see, when you look at the bottom here, let's just wait for the camera to focus. So at maximum speed, this thing is pushing on the lower bar. However, you notice the lower bar sits against a plastic bump, and I think this plastic bump has no reason to be there, and I'm explaining why. When you push at maximum, you put your pressure, you put pressure with your foot. This, it's pushing against the bar, and I can already tell there is quite a bit of wear at this contact point, and this being old metal, well, at some point this one will break as well. So I'm just going to grab this, careful so you don't touch the metal piece. I'm going to shear off this metal bump here. Maybe you think it's risky. I don't think it's a risk. These two really just need to make contact, and that's it. Basically the case, let's try to close it. Okay, the case will just stop by itself. It doesn't stop on these pieces. So there is, in my opinion, no problem removing this plastic bit so as to let this make a more gentle contact, so it doesn't force on the lower metal piece, so it doesn't make it break just like the top one did at some point. So I'm just going to remove this. I think I'm going to lift a bit carefully and grab it with pliers, and I don't know, I'll find a way to chop it from there. Okay, so again, no contact here when the case is not closed, and from there, just give it a try. I need to make just to say that when this was working by itself, actually I will incline it and will start working by itself, the machine, it would also make a buzzing noise. So that was a good indicator something was wrong. So it should make no noise inside here when it's operating or when it's not operating. Just be aware, these are old units. The rest appears to be fairly stiff, fairly strong here. But be aware that thing can happen if you feel it's heating up, smells burn, makes noise. If you don't want to try to fix it, just discard it and buy a new controller. You have controllers that oftentimes match even vintage machines. You can buy them from eBay. Let's do a test. So notice perhaps this is about the lowest speed, and this low speed depends really on that gap between the two metal tabs, the upper ones. So if that gap is higher, you will not get a low speed here, because the moment you are going to press to contact, the carbon bits are pressed too much. So you want that space to be about, I would say, 1 millimeter. Make sure it doesn't free touch, but don't get it too large. 1 millimeter should be plenty enough, and that will give you very low speeds. I think right now the gap I have is too much. I think it's too much. I'm going to make it smaller, because this is about the lowest speed I get, and it should go lower. Let's just go faster. So yeah, that's pretty fast. Okay, so it's doable, but careful also if you cannot undo this screw here, the one under the cap. So you have a cover, you just lift it with a screwdriver, just gently insert it underneath. When you look, it's fairly difficult, but one of the things I did is, if you press on the pedal, you'll notice that this cone, you can lift it. Not sure I can do this with camera handheld, but this metal cone, you can lift it and you can see inside when the pedal is fully pressed. Obviously you are going to unplug it from the wall. you will see inside that small stud at the bottom. And what I did is I put a tiny droplet of oil on that stud on the bottom, and I kept the pedal like this overnight. That oil penetrates and unstucks a little bit the screw. But even then I had to just press down. Once it was unstuck, I had to keep pressing down the pedal and kind of try to grab the screw with pliers. And again, I would rotate, but also I would pull upwards, and that will force the screw to start turning against that stud. So rotate and pull upwards at the same time. It's difficult. This is a second pedal I have like this. The first one I had no trouble removing it, but this one was stuck. And again, when you screw them down, just until it stops, that's it. Don't force more. It's on plastic. You just snug and you are done. I did reduce the gap some more and see how it goes. Wow, this is very slow. It's difficult to control, but it's really slow because remember, this pulley, it's tiny. The machine pulley is much bigger, so the machine will spin at much slower speed than this pulley. Okay, that's pretty nice.